$65 million car, a wedding that costs billions, more than the GDP of several countries. Rare jewels, yachts on the Mediterranean, private jets, palaces with helipads and desserts made with edible gold. This is the reality of a tiny portion of the Indian population, shielded, exclusive, and completely disconnected from the chaos that dominates the rest of the country. While millions live on less than $2 a day, across the street, there is a world where luxury is so excessive that it makes even Dubai seem modest. These are the heirs of maharajas, oil tycoons, billionaire conglomerate owners, and entire families who have turned their lifestyles into a spectacle. Today, in Bello Mundo, we delve into this almost unbelievable universe. The India that nobody shows in the tourist guides, that of the super rich, where ostentation is routine and exaggeration a tradition. Number 1. The A side. The most common image many people have of India is that of the crowded streets of New Delhi or Mumbai. People everywhere, motorcycles honking non-stop, stalls selling samosas and chai, cows in the middle of the street, and a smell that mixes incense, street food, and open sewage. Rats circulate among piled-up garbage bags, the sidewalks barely have room to walk, and chaos seems to be the natural rhythm of things. In many neighborhoods, there is a lack of running water, electricity, space, but plenty of movement. Poverty is visible, inequality is glaring. Millions live on the bare minimum, improvising the basics to survive. But here comes the surprise. In the midst of all this, there is another India, an India that hardly anyone sees. Armored, silent, luxurious, where helicopters land on the tops of buildings and private parties bring together Bollywood celebrities, global tycoons, and Michelin-starred chefs. That's the India we're going to show you here. The side where billionaires build surreal mansions, celebrate weddings with Beyoncé concerts, and maintain fortunes that make even Dubai seem modest. A world apart, hidden among the chaos and contrasts. And to understand how it all began, there's nothing better than going back to the time of the maharajas. Number 2. The legacy of the maharajas. Even before globalization produced serial billionaires, India was well acquainted with the concept of extreme luxury. It went by the name of Maharaja. For centuries, these kings and princes ruled over kingdoms scattered across Indian territory. They lived in gilded palaces, surrounded by jewels, adorned elephants, and marble halls that seemed straight out of an epic tale. Even after the country's independence in 1947 and the end of their political power, many families kept part of their fortunes and their lifestyle. Today, some of these palaces have been transformed into luxury hotels. Others are still occupied by descendants of royalty who continue with a life of refined events, classic car collections, gala dinners, and butlers in impeccable uniforms. One of the most iconic examples is the Umayyad Bhawan Palace in Jodhpur. Part of it functions as a 5-star hotel, with daily rates costing more than many people's annual salaries. But the other wing is still the residence of the former royal family, who live there as if the 21st century had only just begun. But the India of the rich is not stuck in the past. It has evolved and created new kinds of empires. Number 3. The Big Billionaire Families. If the maharajas of the past splurged on thrones and crowns, those of today do so with jets, shares on the stock exchange, and exclusive skyscrapers. The most emblematic figure of this modern elite is Mukesh Ambani, owner of Reliance Industries, a conglomerate that deals in oil, telecommunications, retail, and a whole host of other sectors that make billions every day. His fortune has already passed $100 billion, putting his family at the top of the ranking of the richest people on the planet. And the lifestyle goes hand in hand with the size of the bank account. The Ambani mansion, known as Antilia in Mumbai, is practically a residential skyscraper. There are 27 floors, with double-height ceilings, so in practice it looks like 40, which house movie theaters, a gym, spa, helipad, hanging gardens, and even an air-conditioned room with artificial snow. That's right, snow in the middle of Mumbai's tropical heat. All built for over $1 billion, and the Ambani are far from being the exception. Families like the Mittals in the steel sector or the Tatas, who work in everything from cars to hotels, also boast fortunes that would make any European aristocrat envious. Their style includes private jets, mansions in London and Dubai, parties with international artists, and art collections worth more than some museums. But in the India of billionaires, ostentation never comes alone. It often goes hand in hand with tradition, dynastic status, and an influence that goes far beyond figures. Number 4. Modern palaces and jaw-dropping mansions. It's not enough to have money. You have to have somewhere to spend it. And if there's one thing India's ultra-rich know how to do well, it's spend it in style. And when it comes to housing, the concept of home sweet home takes on absurd proportions. We've already talked about Antilia, that billion-dollar skyscraper residence, but it's far from the exception. In the country's main metropolitan areas, such as Mumbai, New Delhi, and Bangalore, mansions and buildings are springing up that look like they're straight out of a futuristic movie with an infinite budget. In New Delhi, for example, there is the famous Lutyens Bungalow Zone, an area that is practically a stronghold of the political and business elite. There, mansions can easily exceed $50 million. The plots are huge, security is tight, and the style varies from classic Indian with huge columns to high-tech versions full of mirrored glass and voice control. Want a 50-meter heated pool? They'll do it. Helipad in the backyard? They do that too. And of course, an air-conditioned garage to house the basic fleet. Ferrari, Rolls-Royce, Lamborghini, Bentley. In fact, some rich people prefer not to deal with India's urban chaos at all. When they want peace and quiet, they simply hop on a jet and head to one of their properties in London, Dubai, or New York. Houses in upmarket neighborhoods like Kensington or Manhattan are part of the basic kit for those with a fortune with 12 zeros. Many also invest in penthouses that easily exceed $30 million, with privileged views and personalized services. And for those who prefer something even more exclusive, there's always the option of building their own palace from scratch. Marble imported from Italy, crystal chandeliers straight from Paris, heated floors, rare works of art, private elevators, and themed rooms. One of them, in Bangalore, spent over $100,000 on gold-plated taps alone. While much of the country lives with the scarcity of decent housing, this luxury bubble builds veritable monuments to excess, and all with taste, glamour, and a bank account that seems to have no end. Number 5. Luxury hotels. If there's one public that spares no effort when it comes to maintaining a high standard, it's Indians with a lot of money on their hands. For them, traveling means changing their address without giving up refinement. After all, if you're going to leave home, do it in style. And when we talk about sophistication in India, it's impossible not to start with the Oberoi Vanyavilas Wildlife Resort in Ranthambore. Here, luxury meets wild nature in a perfect balance. The accommodation is inspired by safari tents, but with modern and exclusive touches, huge beds, spacious bathrooms, and service worthy of royalty. Located on the outskirts of Ranthambore National Park, famous for its Bengal tigers, the resort offers unique experiences such as safaris in customized jeeps, candlelit dinners in the open air, and even lessons on the local wildlife. All this for an average of $3,000 a night. Another gem in Rajasthan is Aman-e-Kos, which follows the line of luxury camps and takes the concept of exclusivity to another level. The tents are equipped with elegant furniture, wooden details, and handmade fabrics, providing a sophisticated look amidst the region's arid landscapes. The focus here is on relaxing and reconnecting. You can enjoy meditation sessions, typical massages, and even experience the local culture through themed dinners and traditional performances. The investment for this temporary lifestyle is around $2,000 per night. To round off the selection, the Raj Mahal Palace in Jaipur is a relatively more affordable option, but still opulent. Built in the 18th century, it was home to the royal family of Jaipur and retains its majestic atmosphere to this day. Impeccable gardens, suites decorated with traditional touches, and works of art that tell the story of the place are all part of the package. Although it's the most affordable on this list of luxurious addresses, it's still far from most people's pockets. After all, exclusivity has its price. At the end of the day, whether near the tigers of Ranthambore or in the historic palaces of Jaipur, these hotels prove that India does know how to welcome its most demanding visitors with all the pomp and circumstance they require. Number 6. Billionaire weddings. And in India, no celebration represents this exaggeration better than weddings. There, getting married isn't just an event. It's a movie marathon in several acts, ceremonies lasting days, religious rituals, traditional dances, hand-embroidered costumes, and banquets for thousands of guests are common even among middle-class families. Now multiply that by 1,000 and you get billionaire weddings. And then, of course, the Ambanis shine once again. When Isha Ambani, Mukesh's daughter, got married in 2018, the world stopped to watch. The event brought together more than 600 international guests, including Hillary Clinton and Beyoncé, who, by the way, gave a private concert at the party. Historic palaces were booked in Udaipur. The decoration included flowers imported from Holland, and the banquet was signed by world-renowned chefs. The cost? Estimated at around $200 million. But that was just the warm-up. In 2024, Anant Ambani decided to redefine the limits of luxury with the most expensive wedding in history. The pre-party was already a global event. Rihanna performed alongside Diljit Dosanjh, and the schedule included themed dinners and festivities in the style of modern royalty. So far, so grand, but there was more. The final stage of the wedding was a 4-day international tour aboard a cruise ship in Europe, departing from Palermo, Italy. On deck, Backstreet Boys, Pitbull, and David Guetta commanding the sound. In Cannes, a masked ball at the legendary Château de la Croix des Gardes mansion featured a private performance by Katy Perry. And to top it all off, Andrea Bocelli sang live during a dinner in Portofino on the Italian Riviera. Total value of the fun: $3 billion. That's right, a wedding that costs the equivalent of the GDP of entire countries. Literally. And this pattern is not exclusive to the Ambani. Other tycoons also hire Hollywood event planners, charter cruises, close 5-star hotels, decorate with tons of imported flowers, and serve menus with gold-plated dishes. Desserts made from edible gold leaf have been served at a cost of $1,500 per head, and everyone gets a personalized souvenir. Because weddings there aren't just about love. It's about making everyone's jaw drop. Number 7. High luxury on wheels and wings. Anyone who has seen a Bollywood movie knows the scene well. Clogged streets, honking horns everywhere, colorful rickshaws cutting through the traffic, and cows parading calmly in the middle of the mess. Now, try to imagine a Ferrari in the middle of it all. It sounds like a joke, but it's not. In the upmarket districts of Delhi, Mumbai, or Bangalore, luxury cars parade as naturally as rickshaws do in the city center. Rolls-Royce, Bentley, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Porsche all become part of the scene at weekends when millionaires go out to dinner or socialize at private clubs. And the models aren't basic. A Rolls-Royce Ghost, for example, can cost around $750,000 there, even more with India's very high import taxes. For those who prefer security, armored SUVs from Mercedes or BMW are also a hit. An armored Mercedes G63 AMG can cost more than $500,000. After all, when you have that much money, you can never be too careful. But if the problem is traffic, the solution is in the sky. The number of private jets in India is growing every year, with models from Gulfstream, Bombardier, and Dassault Falcon being the tycoons' favorites. A Gulfstream G650, for example, can exceed $65 million, and there's still a waiting list. Some even prefer private helicopters, especially those who live in skyscrapers with helipads on top, as in the case of the Antilia Mansion in Mumbai. And there are those who go further. Luxury yachts, usually parked in the Mediterranean or in Dubai marinas, are also part of the package. The problem is that Indian marinas can't cope, so it's easier to keep the boat in Europe and use the jet to get there. Simple as that. Number 8. Top restaurants and cuisine. Indian cuisine is already one of the richest and tastiest in the world, full of spices, intense seasonings, and dishes that are an explosion of aromas. But for the billionaire elite, tradition is not enough. Sophistication with a touch of exclusivity is required. Restaurants in Mumbai, New Delhi, and Bangalore are betting on a revamped Indian haute cuisine, with star chefs mixing curry with foie gras, white truffles, and even edible gold. A simple chicken tikka masala can cost $150 when served in gourmet versions with rare ingredients. And the wines? No local labels. The wine list includes French and Italian wines that cost over $1,000 a bottle, as well as prestigious champagnes such as Dom Perignon and Krug. A full night for two in a 5-star restaurant can easily exceed $2,000, depending on the menu and the drinks. Another fever among the wealthy are the luxury lounges and rooftops located at the top of 5-star hotels. There, the drinks are over $50 each, with recipes signed by international mixologists, and ingredients such as exotic infusions and even hand-carved ice. But the bill is rarely scary. After all, for those who can afford it, paying $500 per person for a dinner with a view of the illuminated city is just another ordinary evening. Number 9. Shopping, jewelry, and luxury brands. If there's one thing billionaires love, it's exclusivity. And the Indian elite's shopping circuit is a spectacle in itself. In malls such as DLF Emporio in New Delhi or Palladium in Mumbai, brands such as Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Cartier, Chanel, and Hermes have stores with concierge services, personalized attention, and, in some cases, total closure of the store to serve a single customer. A limited edition Hermes Birkin bag can cost over $150,000, and they fly off the shelves. Patek Philippe or Audemars Piguet watches can easily reach $300,000 depending on the model. And, of course, all this is accompanied by champagne and snacks, while the customer ponders whether to take another item home. But nothing beats jewelry. The Indian tradition of gold and precious stones goes back a long way, and wealthy families continue the custom of commissioning personalized diamond and emerald necklaces whose prices start at $50,000 but can effortlessly exceed $1 million. Burmese rubies, Ceylon sapphires, and very rare diamonds are part of the arsenal of those who want to show off at their next wedding or social event. And if you want something even more exclusive, just hire a private jewelry designer, travel to Geneva or Dubai to pick up the stones and create a unique piece that will only be worn once. Because at the top of the pyramid, ostentation is not an option. It's almost tradition. Now we want to know from you, in the midst of so much ostentation, what caught your eye the most? Would you take part in a billionaire's wedding with international shows, or would you prefer something more intimate? And if a fortune fell into your account tomorrow, would you go for rare jewels, supercars, helicopter rides, or would you set up a social project to try and reduce the inequality gap? Let us know in the comments. We love to hear what you think. And if you enjoyed this tour of the more extravagant side of India, subscribe to Bello Mundo, activate the bell, and follow us on our next trips. There's lots more good stuff to come. Thanks for your company and see you soon.